Overdrive turns 15 this month, and a commemoration was in order, one that also celebrates the even bigger event that falls in the same month, the 66th anniversary of India's independence. And so epic was Team Overdrive's vision that it all began a whole week before Independence Day. Over 1,000 kilometers south of here in Chandigarh. This larger-than-life celebration was the Overdrive dream. And the team decided to share this dream with 8 lucky Overdrive enthusiasts. Not only would this be their trip to the roof of the world, but they would be part of something rather special. The entire Jingbang would then embark on the journey of a lifetime. Celebrating Independence Day on the highest motorable road in the world, hoisting the national flag and singing India's national anthem at the top of their voices at Marsimik. A few introductions and interactions later, it was up to Shumi to let the participants know that what lay ahead was far from a leisure drive in the mountains. Shumi's list of do's and don'ts was crucial, as the participants would find out over the course of the next 10 days.
So we're at the Park Plaza in Chandigarh. Behind me are the 5 Audis. They're ready to go. You can see the participants are also ready to go. This is where the Overdrive Independence Quattro drive kicks off.
The first part of the journey was a 380-kilometer stint from Chandigarh to Manali. The initial part of the journey was easy, as the convoy's pace was quick leading up to the hills. Once the hill climb began, the heavy truck traffic slowed it down substantially. This then was the perfect time to get acquainted with the new members of Overdrive's new extended family. And of course, in the welcoming speech, the bit about having to leave Manali the next day at 4 a.m. was deviously left out. The first pass crossing at Rohtang needed to be quick and smooth before the convoy got stuck in a forest of taxis, ferrying tourists clad in lurid rental ski suits.
From Chandigarh to Manali is just 318 kilometers, but it took us about 12 hours to do it. Primarily because there's lots of truck traffic on that road and the roads aren't in the greatest of shape everywhere. But the good news is the 4 a.m. start for the Rohtang crossing has been cancelled. We have permits for the cars. We are told the pass is free and clear. There aren't too many tourists around. So if everything goes to plan, in 5 hours time, we should be at Jispa, about 135 kilometers away. The fun part today is that most of these participants have not actually ever crossed a high altitude pass. This is the first time they will do it, and I think that will be a lot of fun.
Thankfully for the convoy, the information was accurate. The roads from Manali to Rohtang turned out to be in nearly perfect condition. And the first of the incredible mountain vistas that were to be the backdrop for the next week were before the team. Rohtang is a high pass by normal standards at 13,500 odd feet above sea level. But by the standards of what lay on the other side of it, it was barely the first rung of the ladder. In fact, this particular pass crossing was the first time Team Overdrive has actually ever stopped at the top of Rohtang.
So we're just passing through Rohtang Pass. I've always seen it like this. I've always seen it in the middle of a cloud, never really seen what the rest of it looks like. But to me, there are so many people here who come here who destroy the roads actually so badly that this is the one pass we almost never stop at. In fact, if I was speaking to the camera, I'd just be going.
Experiencing a pass for the first time, the participants' excitement wasn't misplaced. But egged on by Shumi's promise of an excellent lunch at Koksar, the procession moved on.
So when you come down from Rohtang, you come to this place, Koksar, and you come to Sharmaji's Dhaba. The menu is very basic. If you're a vegetarian, you get rajma, dal and curry with rice. And if you're a non-vegetarian, you get this, meat rice. It's a beautiful place to sit at. You've done your first big pass. There's a long road ahead. Great place to sit down and have a meal.
Wow, the moment we came to this place, it was what they call it, Himalayas were majestic. That's the view I got, and that's what I felt. When it tells you that, look at me, how majestic I am. So serene, very nice. It was beyond my dreams. That's what I would say.
Rohtang passing was quite a breeze actually, which contrary to what I heard heard that there's a lot of traffic and all there. But for us, it was quite a breeze drive through from there.
Rohtang Pass was good. The roads are nice. Majorly that I had that the roads are going to be really bad. They are okay. They were not really bad. They were not that bad. So 2 thumbs up to Bihar.
Actually, for us, I think we had a smooth journey. I've seen Rohtang passes earlier, but the conditions were a lot better this time. So we got through it very easily.
Heading to Leh thereon, the once significant stop was the Tandi fuel station.
So this sign here is quite a milestone on the way to Leh. As you can see, when you pass through, ideally you want to put up one of your stickers on the board, and our sticker is already on the board. We are in Tandi. It's a fuel station. It's about 365 kilometers from Leh, and the big important thing about this place is that there is no fuel to be purchased from here to Leh. So especially on a motorcycle, you are really concerned whether the bike will run all the way from here to Leh on a tank of gas. Otherwise, you have to arrange extra gas. For us though, we are in Audis. Tank range is 7 to 750 kilometers. So we're not really worried. We're just filling up just to make sure we're okay. So we're finally in Jispa. Jispa is our stop for the night, and if you look behind me, you can see a green roof. That's the Ibex. The Hotel Ibex is a complete landmark as far as Jispa is concerned. Nobody knew what Jispa was until that came up. And the other thing about it is we're standing in the bed of the Chandra River. It's a nice place to come for a walk. It's a really wide space here. But why walk when you can drive? What that also means is now we are just 2 days from Leh and 4 days from the highest point of this trip.
Coming up, the going gets tougher, but the sights and sounds become larger than life.
It's 4 a.m.
So good morning, it's 5 o'clock. We're at the Darcha checkpost where you enter your driving license if you can so carry on forward. As of yesterday, the plan was to leave at 7, but the plan has changed, and that's because we want to get to Sokar, the place we're staying tonight before sunset, so that we can see that lake. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful lakes in the Himalayas, and therefore everybody is slightly blurry-eyed, but everybody is very, very excited because at the end of the day lies a very beautiful sight.
As the altitude increases, you need to protect your eyes from UV rays, not to mention the reflection from snow that might cause hindrances while driving. All of which can be avoided by wearing a pair of sensible eye gear like the Oakleys the team had unanimously decided to wear.
On the other hand, they were also constantly climbing, the altitude rising quietly. The pass in question was the Baralacha, not a pass to be trifled with. It is high enough to noticeably lack oxygen and is known to be the most mercurial of passes in terms of weather as well. Baralacha doesn't just give people nasty headaches. Every year, the pass is set to claim a life or two as a matter of course.
So I'm back at Baralacha. It's been a while since I was here, and it's very different this time. It's all green and brown, and the last time I was here it was practically white. The thing about Baralacha is that we're at about 16,300 or 500 feet or something, and it's really high up and there isn't much oxygen to go around. So even in the middle of talking to the camera, I have to keep taking breaks to take a breath, and the easiest way to get altitude sickness is to just hang around here for long enough and you'll get it. So we've been here for about, I think, 10-15 minutes now. Everybody's been out of the cars taking pictures. I think it's a beautiful place, but it's also a slightly dangerous place. So what we're going to do now is get back in the cars and head on downhill and find a place to eat something.
And immediately after Baralacha, the small settlement of Bharatpur gave the contingent its needed supply of refreshment and rest. The rejuvenation lasted for what seemed like a hastened interlude. It was time for the Independence Quattro drive to attack the convoluted gutter loops. 21 short, hairpin bends climbing half a kilometre. This sudden rise in altitude through such a short distance was not for the weak stomachs, and acute mountain sickness was at its peak.
The distinctive orangey brown color of the mountain you just saw says we are in Pang, and on top of the mountain that you just saw is the Moreh Plain, which means we are only about an hour and a half from our destination for the day, which is on the banks of the Sokar Lake. The drive today has been quite a lot of fun. The scenery has been absolutely incredible. So we've been distracted from the roads we've been driving on because they haven't always been so great. But I'm telling you, you come here and you want eyes that can see 4 times as much as normal human eyes can see. It's just absolutely brilliant. And every time you take a corner, it changes. It's absolutely amazing.
After traversing through the gorgeous plains of Sarchu and the orange deserts of Pang, the humbling Moreh Plains emerged in front of the team. An endless plateau nestled in a bouquet of mesmerizing mountains. Now the Overdrive team could have stuck to the long paved road, but it was time for Quattro to be unleashed on the unyielding sands of Moreh. The Audis immediately adapted to the loose soil, and the team did what they do best: have fun while pushing cars to their potential. It was also time for the essential group shots, and the HTC One camera shutters barely got a break. Towards the end of the Moreh Plain horizon lay the destination for the day, the Sokar Lake. It's one of those times where you just can't tell whether the journey or the destination was more special.
Welcome to the beautiful Sokar Lake. This is why we left at 4 in the morning, so we could get here before sunset and see this amazing, amazing view. I just wish that instead of the dark clouds that are up above, we had a full clear sky, because when it's a clear sky, the lake looks absolutely beautiful. It's aquamarine, it's clear, and you can see the bottom, and it's absolutely wonderful. In the meantime, everybody's having a good time, and we have a very, very beautiful camp to head to right after this.
Coming up, our team leaves Sokar in high spirits and heads towards Leh. And what the guests expect to be a rest day, well, the team had other plans.
Good morning. I'm having cornflakes, and they are literally just cornflakes because there's only milk powder, so I'm just going to have that in the end, and it'll be cornflakes by the time I finish with it. Behind me, everybody's ready to load up. Today, relatively a very short drive into Leh. Yesterday was a really long day. We started at 4 and I think we got here at about 6:30 in the evening. So today everybody's looking forward to having to cross only one pass, but that pass is the Tanglangla. Specialities, it's a really long climb, a climb that just goes on forever and ever, and of course you're at 17,000 feet, so when you're on the top, you're very, very high. I think it must be among the top 5 high passes in the world. So that's the situation, and if you're wondering why I'm not loading my luggage, I'm ahead of the game. I'm already loaded.
It might not be the world's second highest pass as it claims to be, but Thang La and the road leading to it is famous for being endless and weary. At least that's what everyone expected. But in the past couple of years, the road has gained tarmac and width, and only the shortest sections are as bad as everyone anticipated.
The BRO, the Border Roads Organization, is a massive part of the Ladakh experience, and I don't think they ever get thanked enough, because honestly, if it weren't for them, you simply wouldn't get to Leh at all. It's they who keep the passes open, they who ensure that all the landslides are cleared, and it's them who keep us moving. I don't think they get thanked enough, and I don't think they can get thanked enough. For our part, we basically drive by them, we slow down now and then, we wave to them every single time, and we'll share a bar of chocolate with them, but I wish I could do more. On the other hand, the roads this time have been a complete surprise, because usually you're expecting a really badly surfaced, narrow one-lane road where you're constantly fighting the terrain, the traction, there's trucks coming to the other side, and you're trying to avoid the trucks and all of that. And this time it's 4 lanes almost, 3 lanes in places actually mostly. It's not surfaced yet, but you can see that the work is going on, and this thing will become tarmac at some point. Moreh Plain is almost all tarmac, and it is a really fast, smooth, well-made road. It's great. I mean, the roads are awesome in that sense, but on the other hand, I'm not sure this is a good idea, because one of the things about Leh and Ladakh was that it was unspoilt and pure, because you couldn't get there very easily. And now only the altitude will remain as the threshold barrier, because the road, anybody could do this road. And if you look at the amount of soda bottles that are already appearing as trash on the sides of the road, this is not heading to a good place.
The climb is also one of the few with wide vistas, where you can see your progress for kilometers along the road. So good were the roads that the formerly endless climb was almost over before the team had a chance to zip up their Nautica jackets for the wind chill on top.
So it does not look like much, but this is the second highest motorable pass in the world. Thang La is at 17,582 feet. And I'm going to stop talking right now and get out of here, because there is no oxygen here. If I stay here long enough, then all the people will have massive headaches and they'll be ill soon.
We have crossed several passes. Amongst them, the most exciting pass was the Thang La Pass, which is the world's second highest pass in the world. And it was just an amazing feel to be at that altitude.
The drive from Sokar to Leh was to be a short one, and the next day was a rest day. The participants were keen to see a bit of civilization after days, and Leh would give them a chance to shop for family and friends and maybe do a bit of essential sightseeing. And as they got ready with their tourist hats and shopping bags, Team Overdrive had other plans for them. While the Overdrive team would rest, the new family members would have to clean the cars.
I'm happy.
As it turned out eventually, everyone, including the Overdrive boys, had a cloth, bucket and a car to clean. So much for being the devious leaders of the pack. After completing the chores, the participants finally got a chance to move about the city, shop for Tibetan artifacts, Kashmiri textiles, and even visit the Leh monastery. The Overdrive team hoped that all the extra weight from the shopping wouldn't slow them down.
We reached Leh in the afternoon. We had the rest of the second day off for us, so that was a nice experience in Leh. I went up to the monastery, which is approximately 200 meters above the Leh, so that was a little trekking trip for me.
The Overdrive team, of course, were the experts, but they too needed help and advice from time to time. The man they turned to was Trigun Singh, a veteran with a 2.5-decade rich knowledge bank. He's been a consultant for motorsports in the region, and on this trip is a go-to guy for the crew for everything, from routes and destinations to health issues and car problems.
Well, I was given this job by Explorer and Himalayan Motorsport to take this Overdrive team all the way from Chandigarh to Ladakh and then all down to Srinagar. And my job basically was to make sure that everybody in the group stays together and medically they are fit and there are no problems with the car. And they make sure that they're driving easy, because these cars we don't get the spares in areas like these. So I used to be in the lead in places where the roads they didn't know, and doing the sweep just to make sure that nobody is left behind. And for this, the most important thing for us was the radio communications, for which we had installed radios in all 6 cars. So we stayed together all the way through. It worked well.
This is, I think, unlike all the others on the trip, I've met Trigun before. I've traveled with him once before, so I knew what he was like. So I really don't know how to explain what he is. He is just something as close to Superman as you can come, I guess. So you'll be driving along somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and there's nobody in sight, and suddenly you look to your right, and there's Trigun right there, where there was wilderness before. So it was a little strange at times, but yeah, he's having a person like him on a trip like this, I think adds a lot of security to the whole thing, because he knows exactly what to do in whatever situation you are in. Whether it's a puncture, whether it's your engine conking off in the middle of somewhere, he knows exactly what to do because he's been there and done that.
Tomorrow is Independence Day, the cars are washed and ready to go, and of course you'll notice they've left my car for last. But tomorrow is Independence Day and we're going to go out and celebrate in the biggest fashion we know. What you've not seen on the show so far though is the one special person who's just joining us, who you're going to get to meet after the break.
Coming up, it's Independence Day and they're all set to hoist the flag, except there's a small hurdle. The team was finally gelling together and everyone was enjoying this expedition. A day of rest at Leh helped them get acclimatized and had energized them for the journey ahead. Once again, they had a spring in their step and smiles on their faces.
Happy Independence Day everybody. Today is the day we will climb the highest motorable pass in India. We will sing the national anthem. We will celebrate Independence Day. And good morning ladies and gentlemen. Actually the one lady, the very brave lady in this group. But your trip up to Marsimik, I don't think is going to be complete without this coming straight from Mumbai's traffic lights. So yeah, you can put this up on your cars, Ali. Thank you. There you go. Guys, just put them onto your cars, pass them around. There's one for every car. All the best. It's going to be a tough day. It's also going to be an awesome day. So let's head out. Come on. Let's get back in the cars. Let's get this done.
The drive from Leh to the Pangong Tso lake passes through some enchanting scenery. The convoy drove up the 17,590 feet high Changla Pass. Crossed the Pagal Nala river and crossed some sand dunes before it got to the Pangong Tso. The road to Pangong, though breathtaking in places, wasn't easy, and it was a good 4 to 5 hour grueling drive before this mammoth saltwater lake revealed itself. Everyone had heard of the sheer size of this water body, but in reality, the vastness of the Pangong Tso was overwhelming. It was beyond words. But how about this for perspective? It's 134 kilometers long and 5 kilometers wide across its broadest point. That's roughly the size of Bombay's metropolitan area.
I've been to Marsimik once before. That was sometime in 2002, 2003. I don't recollect it. But it's been a very long time. Back then, when I came into this region, there wasn't a soul around, for miles even. Pangong Lake was completely deserted, but the idiots have been to Pangong Lake, and well, after that, a lot of other idiots have followed. So now there are plenty of tented accommodation available at Pangong Lake.
Pangong would serve as the base for their ensuing journey to Marsimik. But before that, the convoy decided to shed all the dispensable weight at Pangong. As they lined up their cars close to the lake for some photography, the Bolero camper, which was the convoy's tracking and lead car, got stuck in the loose sands on the banks of Pangong. It had little to fear, as it was Audi's awe-inspiring Quattro all-wheel drive system to the rescue, and the Q5 easily pulled it out.
And so, we have driven up to Spangmik, which is on the banks of the Pangong Lake, a 120-kilometer long lake that stretches from India all the way to China. But it's only when you come down to this lake do you realize what it is we are fighting to protect. This has to be one of the most scenic locations in all of India. But we've offloaded our SUVs, we've taken all the luggage out at the campsite, we've lightened these SUVs. But in a few minutes from now, we are heading up to Marsimik, 18,800 feet plus. Here we come.
Lake Placid, Pangong Tso, does not prepare you for the turbulence of Marsimik. On this stretch, you need vehicles that are reliable, that literally withstand the pressure test of extreme high-altitude motoring. The Audis may have been rugged on the outside, but it's their spirit that would be tested this day. Unfortunately, while the SUVs themselves had proved to be indestructible throughout, the weakest chink in their armor were the tires.
Puncture. Kali, check the tire. One of you go check the tire which is there, which is required for the Gualana.
So having a puncture is a part of driving cars, but when you have a puncture at 15,500 feet, it can be a bit of an issue. We were warned that the road up to Marsimik is not very safe. What's just happened is we've had a puncture that's led to a cut in the sidewall, which means that this tire basically is, you have to throw it away. There's nothing you can do to fix it. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to put a space saver on this car and get it rolled down to civilization, and then we'll mount the spare tire on this rim and carry on. Fingers crossed. So only 4 Audis will actually reach the top of Marsimik and hoist the flag, so everybody's going to transfer to the other car. Not the ideal way to do this, but the best we've got for now.
Leaving Halley and Ashok behind to get the Q7 fixed and ready for the journey back home was not what was planned. But the team needed to move forward, and the convoy shrunk to 4 SUVs. The terrain, the altitude, and the weather had thrown every possible hurdle at the team to thwart its journey. But the magnitude of what they were about to accomplish had them going. The odds were stacked high, and wisdom says the last few miles are always the hardest. Well, they were about to find out. Coming up, the greatest celebration of India's independence ever, the Overdrive Way.
This is my 5th anniversary issue, and I thought I'll make it to Marsimik this time. I've only been to Kadungla, that's 18,380 feet. This is higher than that, and before I got too excited, I think my 760 Nm Doc Audi Q7 couldn't make it because the tire got a sidewall puncture. We'd been warned off earlier, but I think it was just bad luck.
So close and yet so far. Never has the idiom been so disappointing. Not to be bogged down by the unfortunate turn of events, the depleted convoy of foe soldiered forward, or rather, upwards. They moved with caution, not wanting another setback, and even the co-passengers now shared the determination of the drivers to reach Marsimik. The light banter and the shenanigans in the car had now been replaced by an eerie, determined silence.
We're now at 15,500 feet above sea level. We're still climbing up to Marsimik. This is what we came to do. This is our primary objective on the Independence Quattro drive, to hoist the national flag, to hoist the tricolour at the top of Marsimik, which is at about 18,500 feet plus. It's the highest motorable road, but well, motorable, not exactly. The road's pretty bad. It's still being surfaced by the BRO, and right now it's a rough stretch, ready to be surfaced with tarmac. But as you go further higher, it all turns to just boulders. It's a complete off-road section. There are very few people who are allowed to go up to Marsimik. Foreigners, definitely out of the question. If you're an Indian national, you need to get a permit in Leh. And once you get that permit, you can cross the ITBP border force checkpost just at the base of Marsimik and then climb up. Right now, however, we're facing a bit of a problem because of the last few weeks with the Chinese trying to make inroads into the Indian territory. I guess they forgot till where they could walk through or build their roads. There's been a bit of strife at the border. We are fairly close to the Chinese border at the moment. From Marsimik, it's probably another 25-30 kilometers to the Chinese border. So yes, there is a bit of volatility in this region. But then, when has Overdrive ever not been in fairly precarious situations? As we climb higher, the oxygen gets thinner, the air gets rarer. It's a much more difficult task to breathe. And Marsimik is one of the highest points you can drive up to within India. It's also pretty cold. Right now, the outside temperature that's indicated on the Q5's display window shows 15 degrees, and well, it's dropping rapidly.
The team had almost made it to the top. It was literally the last few miles from the top of Marsimik. Overdrive had managed to get their permits despite recent cross-border conflicts, brought SUVs no one expected to drive through these harsh conditions, ferried people with little or no experience of high altitudes, and all of this with one goal in mind: to hoist the Indian national flag on the roof of the world.
So we're at the top of Marsimik now. The cars are parked. It's freezing cold. I know you can't see most of my face, but it's like 2 degrees outside. There's snow falling. There's no way I'm going to expose any more of my skin than I have to. But that having been said, let me take a breath. There's not much oxygen here. That having been said, all that remains to be done is to assemble the pole, get the flag on it, hoist it, and then sing Jan Gan Man and celebrate Independence Day and get out of here. We don't want to spend too much time here, so the participants and the team members are already at work, and I think it's only fair that I go and join them. So I'll see you just in a bit as soon as we got the pole ready.
It was time. The pole was assembled and the national flag was ready to take its position of pride. The climb up to Marsimik had been a daunting task, but the sense of achievement certainly made the struggle worthwhile. Team representing various parts of India had now, together, achieved a new dream, and these memories would last forever.
Hoisting the flag at 18,650 feet, wow, what a feeling. You feel so, I mean, you are actually fighting for something, like this is your country, and hats off to the army, the Trishul division which is there, hats off to them. It's a life-changing experience, that's what I feel.
I've been to Marsimik before. The terrain is always tough, and but getting there, and once you get there, the feeling is really great. But this time it was even more so because we were going to hoist our national flag on 15th of August. And to make the occasion even more beautiful was the fact that it started snowing. And it took us some effort to put the flag in place, and we were all out of breath and everything. But at the end, everybody got together, we put the flag up, we hoisted it, and we sang the national anthem with full gusto, so that was great.
I helped with assembling the flag and hoisting it up. It was great to sing the national anthem on the top, and we got snowed a little bit, so it all added to a very unique experience. I don't think I'd probably ever get to do that anytime soon.
It's one of the best Independence Day I've ever had. When most of the Independence Day would be sitting at home or going to the society ground and raising the flag, but this is probably the one Independence Day that will stay on in my life forever, definitely.
See, this Independence, the Marsimik trip up and down has been really a dream. It was so beautiful. Started snowing as we reached Marsimik, and never seen snow, and it was just an out of the world experience.
The roads are always challenging. It's one of the hardest passes that you can get to. We were all looking forward to getting up there and hoisting the flag, but then unfortunately we had a puncture on the way, and
Ali and me, we had to stay back. But then that's just the way it is. You guys, it's just something you have to do when you don't leave a man alone behind. You just have to stay behind and figure out what you need to do then.
That was a long wait for you guys to come back, and but to see them all smiling and to see them, so much together, that on Independence Day, to feel so patriotic, that's something I missed. But to see them so happy was a great sight.
What's up, man?
Rolling?
Yeah.
Welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shumi and I'm here at the last petrol pump in India.
Welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shumi.
People who are now living the adventure of their lifetime, having got all this way up to Marsimik. My lips are...
Rolling.
So India 66.
1 minute.
Kya 1 minute?
First high altitude pass, you're beginning to feel it a little bit. Tell us what's going on.
I'm feeling like I'm going to faint. It's really not paining, it's headache, but it's really good. I'm excited.
The headache is really good?
No.
The camping by the lake, with the snow-capped mountains all around our camping site was really, made the site really chill, and that was a fantabulous moment there. Despite the fact...
ऑडियो को कुछ लग रहा है क्या?
नहीं, कुछ नहीं किया मैंने ऑडियो को. इसको निकाल के यहाँ ऊपर कहीं रख लूँ क्या? ठीक है. या थोड़ा ओपन कर दूँ क्या?
नहीं बस चल स्टार्ट. रोलिंग वो निकाल, वो क्या है, वो हाथ में वो रखने वाले क्या?
हाँ, my God, how many questions?
चलो रोलिंग.
What were we talking about?
Roads leading up from Manali.
थोड़ा ही चला है. ज़्यादा हो गया. बस.
Hey, good fun, man. We're finally heading to Rohtang. I've never been there before, and it's great to be there and taking the Q7 up there. 4.2.
It's so foggy, you can't tell we are on Rohtang.
Little more ahead. This is the pass. Little ahead.
CNBC? Stars.